Hello and welcome to this session about Teamium's product news and use cases. With me today is Yannick from Teamium, and I'm happy to have you with me today.
Good afternoon, Jutta.
Good afternoon. Yeah, Teamium centralizes, standardizes and streamlines the entire process from budgeting to the end of a product. And we like to elaborate a little bit more on that. Resource management is very generic description and has so many different aspects. Please give us an introduction of what is Teamium and what is it good for?
So, as you mentioned, we starting from the budget part. And on the budget part, you need very quickly to get understanding about what will be the cost, but not only that, will you able to do this production or this post-production in a reasonable time frame? So what we've seen, it's throwing some numbers. It's fairly easy. People were using spreadsheet. But when you have to work on a budget, and if you want to make sure that you get the resource available, or how can you predict if you get internal resource, if you need to outsource some of the resource, then it's make a little bit more complex for the budget. And we are working in a dynamic world. So the budget you have maybe foreseen at one point in time, maybe the resource will be used. So what we have started by Teamium with the budget part is to really to interact with the project itself. There are plenty of project management, but the challenge was really to build estimate budget and the project as well. So that's one of the main component is tied at the very early stage, the request from a client to the production.
Yeah, there are a lot of other challenges during a process in a project planning. What does Teamium different than others?
So we get a wider spectrum. What I mean by starting as very early in the process of from ideation until billing, that's important to capture and to maintain a proper set of data and requirement. So the first thing is wider from Teamium, because not only the fact we will schedule the resources, we also tracking the cost. We also tracking any labor rules to ensure that the people will be paid or the information will be transferred to any payroll system. And ultimately, it's also giving the proper reports. I give you an example that I get from a TV channel really recently. And they were using Teamium since about 18 months. And they told me, you know, this is the first time we got a real-time cost analysis on our system. So we know that, you know, on this series, we lost some money. We know on this one, we are good. And it's extremely important when we are working on the content level, we get a real-time cost analysis about any production. So I was very pleased to hear that. That is not only, you know, kind of ERP, you are entering data, but the goal there, it's also a very important management tool at the program level.
Yeah, there are many challenges when it comes to production and the planning of people. What are the most difficult ones, and how could Teamium support production houses with the software? Sorry.
Yeah. One of the I don't want to say a nightmare, but everyone on the production, the first, let's say, pain point or area to address is scheduling. Scheduling resource in terms of equipment, let's say, it's one thing. It's not the most complex. That's important. It's more like inventory management, inside inventory or outsourcing. So I will not consider as the most complicated. But when we have to deal with human beings, that's a different story. And what we have introduced recently on Teamium, it's a completely new roster module that you can add on the top of the scheduling itself. So just go back to what the fundamental of the scheduling of personal. You need, of course, you get people with different skills, different roles. So you like to assign the most appropriate person. But not only that, in Europe, we get different labor rules, in US as well, we get unions. So how did you make sure that people respect and you really stick to this rule? A lot of, let's say, enterprise company using RH system that they have to do the calculation, but that's mean a double entry into two different systems. So what we overcome with Teamium, we do a one single entry in Teamium. We can also push this information for reporting point of view. And that's how we facilitate the day-to-day job for a project manager or scheduler is within Teamium, it can really assign the people respecting the rule. So rules, labor rules is the first point. Now going into the roster, and I will share with you some use cases. We get a news channel in US that have 6 affiliates. And each of the affiliate, they have their own crew, and they're covering news, by the way. So each of these crews have to go to a working pattern. So what we have done, we have creating for each cities, they can really create a board of presence. It's not only the issue to manage the leaves, because we know you can say, I assigned a project today and there's some leaves, but it's also important to get also the presence of the person and where you're expecting this person to do. So if you're doing breaking news, you most likely will need a car, you may need a LTE backpack for transmission, you may need also a camera. So that's also logistic behind that. So one of the roster we have made, it's capability to create a working pattern, and we also on the time that remote hybrid work and optimization of the resource. Now, in Teamium, managing multiple entities, that's allow from one city to the other to know which crew is the most appropriate to cover a story. So not only working as silo, as one TV channel, but they can aggregate all the overall staff. So that's one example of the roster. I get another one. Do I get time, Jutta?
Yeah, but we have to look on the roster a little bit later as well. Maybe you could also elaborate a little bit on collaboration, because so many people working together is always a challenge. And I think Teamium can support teams also within collaboration very good.
Yeah, the Teamium is, as you mentioned, is a platform, and therefore we have created specific pages and content for dedicated people. So when the manager and there is some scheduling raise and design, then any user, let's say collaborator, can access either on mobile or they get an home page. So it's not only what you have to do today. So if I'm taking my example of breaking news, so I will take a car and I will cover the story. But from this single page, you know what you are doing. You are also reporting the time. So you don't have to deal with another software, but directly from your assignment, you're reporting the time. So saving a lot of pain on administrative hassle. And the other part of the collaborative, we have built Teamium with microservices. So one of them is a chat and notification. So no need to use an external instant messaging system. Teamium has its own, and for any project, any stories that you will cover, you can dialogue, you can collaborate with the team. So that's one part of the platform. And it's going really both ways. So what we facilitate is to allow the collaborators, whatever is a journalist, could be a post-production editor or any job, to push and inform back in real time with comment and chat.
Yeah, you worked a lot on the platform in the past months. And one of the updates you just mentioned at the software is the roster management. You already give us one example, but as you said, there are others. So maybe you like to elaborate a bit more on the roster management.
Yes. So one example was send request for roles. The second use case we have in a couple channel in Switzerland and also in France. They are using more as a monthly board of presence. So what's important, they need to know who will be there and how you also manage on call. So it's very important that on medium-sized channels or company, important to have let's say cover 24 hours or some even less in time. So managing the on-call, managing the on-duty, and we have creating a roster with shift system. So you can create easily for a day. You want to cover editing, news editing, you want to cover field production. So we publishing, I think is one of the screen you are right there, that building this roster. So it's an easy tool. Not only it's important for the collaborator that he can access into his within his mobile application, but we also using, and we have implemented for any schedule we have, a full screen view. So the aim is we have also a service company in Geneva and another in Paris where we're using widescreen, and they can just publish so everyone knows about maybe the fleet, where is our hobby van, where is our team, where is our crew. So in real time, we have also implement a mechanism to push the information and using in widescreen rosters.
Yeah, so we prepared a screenshot on that, and maybe the control room can show it, please, while we are talking about it. And you could describe a bit in detail on what we are seeing here.
Yeah. So as you see on the top, on the left side, this is the main navigation. And when we create a duty and assignment, we got different view. One of the view here is the timeline view. And how we build that, you can see just below the timeline and the calendar, you get groups right there. So you define groups. So this could be seen by only one group manager, but you can be seen by as well by the other managers. So you select your group. So when you click on one or the other, you get your team. Now, when you're getting your team, it's just simple click. You say, this person will be there. Yes, you just click. And you can even go further. You don't have to, it's not mandatory, but one also the extra benefit is you can say, oh, you're working on this magazine today, you're working on this post-production of this graphics, so you can go a little bit more in detail. And I told you the benefits of that. One of the channel have to make some reporting, end of the year, how much we spend. I can tell you easily for 60 employees company, we're talking about 60,000 time report a year. But on our reporting system, Teamium was able to push quickly this reporting and know exactly what was the assignment, how much time, and of course the value of that was spent on this series, on this program itself. So it's not only useful for the collaborator, but it's also extremely useful for financial department and reporting. I want just one more minute on this view. And what you see when you are starting to build your pattern, you see your color, you can assign a color per type of program, and we got copy paste. So you may have done, you're happy with a 1 week schedule or 1 month. So you decide, the pattern you will like. And you can repeat, just like you will do on a spreadsheet or on a Word editor, copy paste, and you will reproduce to next month, to next week. It's exactly the same pattern. So you can play with different patterns and reproduce it. And we also can go even further with an autofill that say, okay, someone has been booked only 10 days a month, but who have to carry on for the next 20 days for next month. So, of course, we can go from a very simple use of the duty to more automation if it's required.
To keep the overview with all these resources, there's also an update on the scheduler. Please, could you explain it, why we see the picture?
Yeah, that's this view, particular on the scheduler. It's where we can express some requests. You have maybe some specific program. You got some. I would say, let's take a red carpet event. So our TV channel, we working also Discovery in US, and they have also some particular requests. So what you can do, you can build and leave, let's say, some hole or placeholder for some requirements. So on this particular view, that's where you see some placeholder. You can also quickly fulfill the resource, just by a simple click. Teamium will fetch who is available with the respect of the labor rules, and of course, we take into account the time. So we have, this is one of the view you have on the schedule. We also, I don't know if you get another one screen, but we have also created user-defined view on the scheduler. So that means every user with the relevant role can create his own view. So what is interesting, you say, oh, I'm managing a fleet of production, OB van. I'm managing a crew, I'm managing editors. So I'm building my view. I can see who is in leave. I can also approve, if I'm the manager, a leave for someone. And I can quickly create placeholder and do some assignment from the scheduling. So we are extending the last few months the scheduling user experience.
Yeah, a request that came from post-production houses was the ability to have episodic workflows. Can you elaborate on this? What did you improve for them?
Yeah. Since the beginning, we got, let's say, the data model to manage show. Now, what we have improved and where we have extended the show, let's say, just for the wording purpose, we're building a project for any production or post-production. So you get a project name that could be one episode, or it could be, if it's a daily show, it's on the stream. So it could be anything as a project. But when you go and when you have a repetitive project, maybe it makes sense to get under an umbrella where we call show. So it's interesting to know how much this program costs, for example. So what we have done on the show is we start again from the budget, from the bidding part, where what we've seen in episodic, and whatever is in post-production and production, by the way. It could be episodic for multiple shooting, multiple news, or multiple post-production. So before it starts, really after the ideation, it's the bid itself. So you will put on paper, you need 50 days production, 20 days pre-production, and you can go in more detail and so on. So you can have your own categories. But then, how did you track? How did you create, let's say, the project itself? How did you assign? And how did you control how much you spend? So the new modules show that we have designed for episodic is as soon you have defined, let's say, the bid information, let's take 50 days, 20 days of each categories, then you just by one click, you creating your project, or you can assign to an existing project. Then you're entering the number of days, and you're ready for the scheduling of this resource. The benefits for top management is from the show, we get another reporting view where we can see in real time how many days or many hours you have consumed, what the balance, so how much you spent, and what the remaining balance. So extremely important for the financial and extremely convenient on a day-to-day. So from the show, you create directly project, so you already get the frame, let's say, of your content.
Thank you. Yeah, Teamium follows a user-centric approach to product improvements and enhancement, the user experience. What exactly does that mean?
We came from initially in Teamium, we got some very defined, very precise, I would say, UI and set of data. And the market have changed. We've noticed that some people have a smaller project. We are also reaching to company that it's a little bit more agile. We get a diversity of people have different role. So what we have made, the main changes in Teamium is we bring some user interface, user defined by the client. So what does it mean? You log, and through the logging, we have a persistency. So you like to get 3 columns, and you're choosing the columns you would like to be. You won't change the position of the column. You won't add a custom field. So even if when you start with Teamium is ready for broadcast, post-production, and production operation, but you can fine-tune to your own business. A lot of company, what we heard very often is say, oh, our business is so special, very specific. No software can handle that. And for us, we took it really as a challenge, because how you can put on a SaaS, this is a SaaS platform, something that everyone can build with a minimum time compared to some other application, because the core production is already in Teamium. So we're providing user-defined view. I mentioned about the scheduling, some view, the widget and some dashboard where you can configure, you can build your own report, and you can build, some of the workflow as well, some business rule as well.
Yeah, let's have a look into some of that functions which are also improved in the past months. And there is a new function catalog. What is it about?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's I will say quite of a technical one. I will do the function catalog is a backbone of the application. It's the nomenclature of how the people use. So when you decide, you say, I want a camera operator, I want a shooter, I want a cameraman. I use 3 words, and it could be even more. So what's important is to get one type of reference, and every user can enter his own reference. So what we have done is not only give more flexibility to address more worldwide operation, but we have also added on this function catalog some feature to measure the capacity. Could be for storage, it could be for bandwidth when we go with transmission, or it could be from edit room as well. So we have added more component around the function catalog. So that's really deep, and I will be happy during the demo after. If someone is interested, we can see the power of the function catalog. And if you please stay on this screen, because maybe we can talk after on the next topics.
If you like to continue on that, please. If there is anything else you like
because
to mention.
This slide is also interesting. We're talking about how we change the user experience, and what we have added is some tables. What do we mean by these booking tables is we have totally embed, and we put multiple level of reading of the application. If a client like to see what's going on his project, most of our client doesn't want to share the day-to-day operation, and you doesn't want to go into the detail or naming one individual working on the project. So we go to a 10,000 feet view, and what we use as a planning, it's really a simple bar, tell you, okay, we're doing production from this day to this day, and not knowing the full details. So what we have done, we have built seamlessly this planning into our project. So doesn't take more time, no more clicks, it's pretty easy. And this view, it's pretty interesting to share with your client or top management for supervision.
Yeah, maybe we can see the picture of the booking table, please.
Yeah.
Because there's another picture for this.
Oh, okay.
I think you are talking about this one.
Yeah. So you see right there, you get 2 different booking tables. So what is interesting, instead of put everything into one basket, and you have to filter what I'm doing in my production, what I'm doing in my post-production, or even in production, you can split field production, transmission. So here you can really describe, you can split, because you may have different phases. and these phases, of course, is time relative. And here you will get a better, a much readable view, and also easier to manage. So that's one of some of these two tables you can see. And what we have done, of course, when you print and you go to the PDF, that's also an interesting, it's presented, is sorted in a much better way. So that's, the booking tables.
Thank you. New is also a warehouse dashboard. What does it show and what is it good for, or why do I need it?
Okay, that's, we're using that, and can I put some name, username?
If you like, if it's
okay, we
good for you.
We got this. We get Discovery have this feature. We start with them, and we get also other client that using. The warehouse dashboard came that managing, and that's really a logistic view. We enter so many information into the Teamium. We were talking roster was really focusing on personal, but on the equipment, on the hardware, or on the infrastructures, that's also a different way to manage. So what we have done is, when you got the equipment, we have already in the past the QR code and the barcode scanning. So now, when you have this feature of barcode scanning, you also shipping with different lot, with different package. How did you track when you get a production? You may be sending the lighting 1 week, you're setting a second set of lighting the next week. So how to manage this bundle? So what we have done to facilitate the logistic on the equipment, again, based on the table you've seen before, so you may create one shipping for the lighting, 3200 degrees, the next shipping next week, and you can track where these packages are. So they are on location, on client location, they are back to the warehouse, they have to go to QC before you rent again or you use again the equipment. So it's aimed for inventory manager, it's aimed for also production manager to track any equipment and bundles.
Yeah, thank you. The session's name today is also use cases, and you now just elaborated on discovery, but maybe you could give us some customer example. Where is Teamium used and how many people are in such a system usually? So
what we've noticed, we got, let's go and talking about some regional channel. Regional channel, it's usually between 60 to 100 users. That's to give you a size. And one of the main modules they need, the main feature is know what kind of job they have to do. So we're using the roster for that. How much how much time I have spent. So what's my report, legal, let's say, kind of reporting, and what also, due to the the hybrid situation, working in remote and working on location, is what kind of reports I can do. So Teamium is used and this way also to reporting. I have worked on this editing this news or is a comment and collaborate among each other. So that's one use case on couple regional channel we have. Mm-hmm. Same thing also, I'm thinking for news, we get also News 12, that it's very more advanced and in sharing resources among journalists and editing crew. Time report and desk assignment, that's really one part for the news. On the other side, we got, I would say, Chromavision is a very tiny house in New York. We're working in with a 4 license in post-production, booking post-production room, color correction. So we are not only a solution for enterprise, but we have also some clients using few modules of Teamium. Of course, we have different plan to adapt, for price and for feature. But that's another example managing, let's say, a very simple post-production job. And then we get also enterprise that it's couple hundred users, that really could be a mix. You got an international channel who using for production, booking their own studio, booking their own edit suite, but also managing all the let's say transmission or external production. And that's quite heavy because the external production might be, from 50 to 100 job or request a day. So that to tell you a little bit about the volume of data. So that's on the other side of the spectrum for the enterprise itself.
Yeah, you just mentioned the future, and development never stops. So what's on the roadmap of Teamium for the coming months?
Okay. I will. One of the we will continue in the collaboration. What we've seen, a lot of people. Not only we have our own chat and notification system, so we move and we do some internal work to use. We're still using AWS, and we have reinforced our notification on that. One of the next steps is really to integrate to Microsoft for different components. So we'll go step by step. Microsoft is a big company, doesn't mean a lot when you throw that, but have the capability to not only use our own email or system through AWS, but go through Microsoft. It could also, on the roadmap, is on the Teams interface, not adding a collaborative tool, but already existing on some company. And pushing, we have our own reporting system, so but also company using general business intelligence. So we will work on connector towards that. And another one, we have some connector with NRCS. We have a couple companies we have built-in connectors in RCS. We'll continue in this area as well.
Yeah, thank you. That are all my questions for today. As Yannick already mentioned, there is a Teamium demo later on. You can find it on the program schedule. Just sign up or join accidentally. And we are all the day around in the coffee bar and at the reception. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Yannick, many thanks for today and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Yuta, thank you. You did a great job. With IBC, everyone knows about that. And that means you've been very smart to prepare and to back up this IBC cancellation. So thanks to you, x-dream.
Thank you. You're welcome.